we've come to the time in the podcast where you're going to help me answer some questions.
Oh, that sounds good.
Here we go. Here's how it works.
Hope I can.
Oh, you can.
I'll try.
Let me explain how it works. You got 2 visitor centers. People call us, they text us, they email us, they message us on social media, and they ask us all sorts of stuff. And I have professional staff, I have volunteers, and they answer these questions. And right now, you are now becoming one of our volunteers because you're going to help me do We Get Questions. Let's go. First question we got. This is someone who's actually living in the area, but they're moving out. So they want some advice. They say, we're moving out of the area in 2 weeks. What are some of the not to miss spots for restaurants that we should hit before we move?
Oh, shoot, man. There's some nice restaurants here, I got to tell you. Salt and Stone in Kenwood is a great restaurant.
Yeah.
There's a new restaurant in Kenwood.
Stella.
Stella.
Yeah.
I just went there the other night. The food was phenomenal.
Yes.
Staff's phenomenal. The owner came around, shook my hand for coming.
Great.
Really nice atmosphere, great food, nice wine list,
Good.
nice place. Salt and Stone, same.
Right.
Todd Lake that owns that now. He used to work for me. So
Oh, really?
Great place to go. Really good place.
It's very popular, especially you'll see in the afternoons. A lot of people who live nearby will go there for the happy hour, which is like famous. It's great.
It's great. And then the other restaurant that's really good is the station, Gold Bear Station.
Oh, yeah.
When I was a kid, that was a Gold Bear Club. It was a little bar, and
That's
I
where
loved
the name
going.
comes from. Oh, okay.
And then the Gold Bear Club was a restaurant up the road. But anyway, so that's a great one. But then, even here in town, we've got the Girl and the Fig.
Yep.
The food's really good.
Yep.
The staff everybody's friendly.
Yep.
EDK across the street.
Love it.
The Bistro.
Yeah.
And then the hotels,
Yeah.
Layla Restaurant, Carneros,
Yeah.
they're all different. And, if you're going to be here for a while, I recommend you just try each one of them.
Okay.
Just go and try those restaurants. If you're going to move from here, I don't know where you're going to find the lifestyle that's here.
Great spot, right? Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you moving? But,
Exactly.
All right, those are all good recommendations. So I like that. And thanks for reminding me about Stella. I'm going to ask Ari, the owner. He's got to come back on the podcast and bring the food, right?
Sure.
'Cause I have to try it to make sure it's still good.
Yeah.
You never know.
Really good.
Another question we just got. Someone walked in and asked us this one. Is the Sonoma Art Walk continuing this summer?
Tim, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I know a lot of people like that. A lot of people come to Sonoma Valley to do that.
Yep.
And of course, then they shop in the stores, they go to the restaurants, they go to the wineries. So, I think it's something we need here. I think it's nice. I hope it is.
And you're right, it is. They're going to continue doing it. It's the first Thursday of the month. And what they do is they pair up different tasting rooms and retail shops and restaurants with art. And you can walk around and there's wine and it's fun. Like, it's very Sonoma. It's very low key. It's very fun. And there's wine.
Yeah.
Right. It's good. So yeah, that's a good one. You're not a painter on the side, are you? Do you do like watercolors? Are you doing plein air art? Steve, don't.
For me,
Oh no.
I like paintings of the hillsides.
Okay.
The mountains, or the animals, like
Right.
a picture of a rock on, say, on Hood Mountain and a deer standing there.
Okay.
That type of stuff. But my cousin Bill Bertetta, he does that. He's a painter.
Oh, great. Okay.
And I have a lot of his paintings at the winery, and he's done some shows and stuff up there and
Really?
brought a lot of local people. So
Well, that's great.
I do really enjoy art.
You are. Okay. Well, we'll get him on the art walk.
Yep.
Another question we just got. I'm here in town for a few days and looking for someone to drive our car to take us wine tasting. Is this possible?
That's a good question. I know there's a lot of different people that, they have a small business where they drive their own car all the way up, say, California Wine Tours.
Right,
all that.
big buses and the classics.
As far as a person to drive the car, I know there is,
You're right.
but you might know some names.
I do, and you're absolutely right. And you are. But if that wasn't a business yet, I have a feeling you would have created it before you walked out of the studio. There's a company called Destination Drivers, and they will drive. It's a small business. They'll drive your car. Wow. And it was kind of nice because some people often will come here. They'll stay like at a vacation rental, right? And they'll be here for like a week or two. And maybe they don't want to, because they have their car already, they don't want to hire another car. So this guy will drive your car. He's got insurance, the whole thing. Yeah. So it's really neat. Destination Drivers, they're really fun. I even love in the back of their card, they have the tasting notes. So when you're out there tasting, you can say, oh yeah, I had the Alicante Boucher from Zena Hyde Cunningham, and it was really good. So
I'd be very curious how much notice they need.
That's a great question. I don't know. You might here's your thing.
Well,
Available at the visitor center.
I'll take that with me. But I've had people come to the winery and I say, I think maybe you've had a little bit too much to drink, and I call them a cab.
Right.
But
that'd be smarter. They
buy their own car. That'd be perfect.
Okay. See,
I'll reach out to them.
Thank
you for that tip. Appreciate
There's your referral. Here's another one. I was driving through Kenwood and I saw what looked like large, smoky campfires in the fields. What's going on with that?
So when we tear out a vineyard, the most inexpensive way to do it is to take all the steel, the vines, and you just crumble it up in a pile.
Okay.
You let that sit for a year. You cover it with tarps, so it doesn't get super wet. And then in the spring early, on burn days only, you light that pile on fire, and it burns all the wood out of it.
Got it.
Then you take the steel and pick it up and take it to a place. They'll give you money for
to recycle it.
You recycle it.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's a burn pile.
It's a burn pile.
Yeah, and it's funny because people who don't know what's going on, they're like, is this a weird campfire thing? And you're like, well, no, it's regeneration of the vineyard out there. They're tearing up the vines because some vines will last 30 years, some will last 50 years, some will last 15 years. It all depends what you're planting and how you're doing it. But we do get that question a lot. And we're like, well, no, it is not a campfire program. But if you want a job, I'm sure they're hiring. Here's a weird one, and it just happened today. I keep seeing mannequins around Sonoma Valley wearing amazing dresses made out of corks and champagne cages and all sorts of recycled items. What is this? Do you know what's going on?
I don't.
So, yes, this is kind of funny. You walk around and there's a beautiful dress, and it's beautiful, but it's made out of recycled items. And there's a thing called trash in fashion at the community center. These people make the most amazing dresses. It's to show one, and when you live in a society where a lot of stuff was throwaway, like you can't throw everything away, right? You talk about your dad and your grandparents.
Yeah.
Back then, stuff was reusable, right?
Oh, yeah. You didn't throw it anyway.
You throw it anyway. And there was a rag and bone guy and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So they're sort of like, we can reuse stuff. And Trash and Fashion does it at the community center. And we just got ours at the visitor center. We have a beautiful dress that's made out of corks. It's absolutely stunning. We were looking at it, and it's dyed with wine. Talking about the Alicante Boucher. The young woman who made it, and she was very young. She's like they said she was like 18 or 19, and she's quite a seamstress. She dyed it with Sonoma Valley wine, and it's the coolest color. And I'm sitting there staring at it like, I wish I could do that. I can't. You're not a dressmaker too, are you, Steve? No. But, well, if you want to check that out, Trash and Fashion, it's at the Sonoma Community Center. It runs all throughout April. And it's also online, but it's an amazing fashion show. But you can also walk around in the valley. There's different places that will host past winners. And it's stunning. Yeah.
That's really cool. And, just thinking she's coloring it with different wines. Alicante is going to be one color, Cab is another. It could really be an interesting thing.
It is really neat. And they just dropped it off this morning. I'm staring at it like I have no idea how to even begin to make this. I'm so glad somebody did it. Yeah. And the community center, which is just down the street from your hotel there, they have a lot of great programs for people who are interested in ceramics, cooking, fiber arts, even like yoga classes and martial arts. And it's a really neat place. And it was an elementary school, I believe, at one time. So.
It was. Actually, one of my daughters, not my youngest, my second youngest went to
went to school there.
School there, yeah.
Okay, see, so you walk around, it has that school feel, but instead of going into third grade, you walk in and there's a whole bunch of sewing machines in one, and another one's like a lot of leatherworking stuff, and it's like the best summer camp ever, right?
It's so cool that we keep buildings like that. They were built years ago, and they were built for a certain purpose, like a school.
Right.
But a lot of that's done here in the Sonoma County. Especially in this area down here. And I think it's so nice to preserve our history and to try to carry it on and teach people. Like if you come to the winery, we have a lot of pictures and a lot of history because my family's been here for so long.
Right.
And we love sharing that with people. And I think a lot of the wineries here in Sonoma Valley are a lot of family-owned that have a lot of history. And so you can get a real education.
Absolutely. And kind of the reuse of those buildings, right?
Exactly.
Well, Steve, it's been great. You answered all the questions correctly. You're hired. So when you're done with your 12 other jobs, Steve, and you want to come work at the visitor center, we're always looking for volunteers.
Well, don't put that past me.
Very good.